So this week on this week's album review, we're going to be talking about Funhouse by the Stooges. This is from 1970. It's kind of like one of the first like proper punk albums. Definitely sounds very like kind of punky, influence, a lot of the mid-70s bands. So this is from 1970, so it's quite early. And yeah, it's a very short album, 7 tracks. And I chose it because I kind of love a couple of the Stooges songs, like Search and Destroy. I really like that one. I Want to Be Your Dog. So I was like, oh yeah, I listened to Funhouse because it's like, their best album apparently. But yeah, to be honest, I was like slightly like disappointed. Like it wasn't quite, the songwriting wasn't as catchy as I thought it would be. It was kind of more orientated on like the kind of the punk energy, and just the sounds, like the gritty sounds of the voices and the guitars and all that kind of stuff. Whereas when I listen to music, I prefer listening to it for songwriting. So from that aspect, it did kind of let me down. Like the songwriting isn't like that good on this album. It does sound brilliant though, and it does have, it's so raw and just full of just the punk energy. And I can just imagine these shows would have been insane to watch live. But from like the listener's point of view, like I didn't really enjoy this album. So yeah, that was my first impressions. It did sound very kind of noisy the whole way through. A lot of just like insanely like mid-heavy guitars with a lot of distortion, then a lot of bass I noticed in this one. And also I've kind of found like Iggy Pop's voice a bit annoying at times. Like I do like his voice, but on this album it just wasn't really doing it for me. So yeah, the standout tracks was like Loose. I'd say I really enjoyed Loose. I really enjoyed 1970, and then I kind of enjoyed Down the Street, but it did take me a few listens to get used to Down the Street. I don't really get the hype of that song, to be honest. Just my opinion. Given it, it's a very old album now, so I think it's done fairly well. So yeah, my least favorite tracks, I didn't enjoy TVI. It just a bit annoying to me. It was kind of not that interesting. Funhouse was alright. LA Blues I think was just an instrumental. So yeah, I mean it serves its purpose really. But yeah, as far as the energy goes, it's great. But I just didn't really get hooked on the songwriting at all. So yeah. For that reason, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. However, I am interested in their sound. I think it's very good. So what I'm going to do is listen to their next album, which is Raw Power, because I'm still intrigued. I feel like the band has more to offer than that. So I am going to listen to Raw Power, possibly next week, possibly not. But yeah, that was my thought, 6 out of 10 overall, and that is Funhouse.